Mayor.
It is pretty warm.
I need something to drink.
So do I. So-
You have something or you need some?
It's funny when I hear you guys say that. Sorry. Yeah.
You don't know that.
You don't know that.
I read Councillor Court's face. It said something else. The
Yeah.
mayor's was definitely water.
Well, somebody told
Okay.
me.
Okay, we're up.
Okay, now that my whistle is wet, we're good to go. All right, council, it's the 23rd of September, the last meeting, town council for this month. We will start with a land acknowledgement. The town of Cardston acknowledges that we are located on traditional Blackfoot Confederacy territory. Before we start, we will acknowledge that we have our former Councillor Creed in the gallery. Welcome, Councillor. And we want to congratulate Councillor Brown for being now the mayor-elect. So well done and wish you all the best. We have a delegation coming at 6 o'clock, so we have a little bit of time to do all our work. We have meetings under number 4 that need to be adopted. Councillor Jensen,
Yeah, I'll make the motion to adopt the minutes for September 23rd, 2025.
I gotta do our agenda.
oh
yet.
yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, yeah, I've gone a little too fast. It's okay. It's all good, Councillor. It's all good, Councillor. Go ahead.
Okay, for the adoption of the minutes,
No.
No.
or the
Agenda.
for the agenda for the September 25th,
Okay.
23rd, 2025.
We'll get
I'll
through
get it right
We're good.
eventually.
It's okay. All in favor? Thank you. It's my mistake, Councillor. We now need to adopt the minutes. Councillor Court?
I'll make a motion that we adopt the minutes of council from 16th of September, was it? 9th of September.
I have a question too.
Do you have a question regarding
I
those
do.
minutes?
In the minutes, we bumped up Mr. Curl to a Counselor Curl who left the meeting, and it should be Counselor
Mm.
Good catch.
Kenley who
I
left
missed
the
that one.
meeting.
Excellent, Councillor.
Good
You
catch.
good?
Foreshadowing.
Also, I have a question on that.
Please go ahead.
I know that in that particular case, that the motion was carried, but 4 voted in favor, 3 voted against. So why is it not showing who voted in favor and who
It's a-
voted
yeah.
against?
It's a
I
very
just
good,
want to understand it.
it's a very good question because there was no one asked for a recorded vote.
Yeah.
When there is no recorded vote asked for at the table, we proceed with the vote, and whatever comes out is a motion is carried by the majority of the results.
He's seen the meeting, so he knows. It's okay.
That is the way
I
it
just said
is
he's
done.
watched the meeting, so
Okay.
he's aware.
Yeah.
Oh, where?
That's what it is.
I have a
So-
question.
You have to call for it.
Yeah, you have to make your intention that you want the vote recorded.
Oh, okay.
And we've done that in
In
past
many,
meetings, like on the
many,
alcohol
many
was
things.
one.
Yes,
There. I have a
go ahead.
So, unless I'm reading it wrong, there's a motion, 2025-213, and a motion noted as 214, and they're the same about Mr. Curl, are they not? It's a duplicate?
Well, one says it was tabled, and that's because I believe Counselor Kenley had
Right.
walked out.
That's right.
Got called to work, and then we brought it
Yeah.
back.
We did not want to take a vote without
Oh,
him in a room.
So that it gets then
It's a
gets a
separate
separate
motion.
motion?
Yes.
You table it,
Yeah,
and
it's
then
the
do it
same,
again with a new number.
correct. It's the same item, but
Okay.
the new motion.
All right. So I am right, it's repeated, but it's legitimately repeated.
Yes,
Okay, then I'm
correct.
good.
Because we didn't
Okay.
want to vote without.
Good
Councillor Kenley.
question of governance, councillors. Good for you. All
learned
right,
something.
let's move on. We're going to vote, yes. All in favor? Thank you. Let's go on to number 5, bylaw and policy, the land use bylaw amendments. We have had the first reading. And so, Jeff, do you want to talk to that?
Sure, so we
Go
can
ahead.
wait until after the public hearing for 1647R. So those are the amendments to the land use bylaw relative to garage suites in R1, R3 and R5, and the setbacks at the creekside. So we'll wait, Mayor, and circle back to those post-public hearing. The other one we're putting forward for your consideration is 1647S, and this is the rezoning of the land intended to be for the Francophone School and the adjacent industrial sites around it. So we're just looking for first reading. What's the date today? The 23rd. We may be able to have the public hearing on the 14th. It'll just depend on how the days line up for advertising, and if not, it'll be in the next term. Part of this I just want to mention, the mayor and I met with members of the Francophone School Board, and they wanted to see as much as we could do to indicate to the next council that there was intention to move this forward. And they'd asked if we could see if we could get us the first reading on a rezoning done before the election. And so while there's still some hoops to jump logistically for this, we'd like to put forward, I'm recommending first reading of this to show this council's intention to the next council.
Councillor Burton.
Jeff, a question. We've got two different proposals here, and one is to amend the East Area Structure Plan.
Right.
Did we only amend it insofar as to accommodate the school?
To some
By
degree,
the block
yes.
next to it?
Yes, and when we get to that too, what you're gonna see is the amendment we're proposing is essentially taking the detail out of that section and saying that it will be negotiated later.
Because again, that should
Mhm.
all be looked at comprehensively, right? I mean,
Yeah.
we're kind of out of time for this council to do it, but.
Yeah, so we kept the East Area Structure Plan amendment as generic as you possibly could. We literally lifted all the lines off that section and said the council agrees we're gonna look at that more comprehensively later as we look at East Area Structure Plan, considering what we're looking to do on this rezoning.
Does that work for you, Councillor?
Yeah, as long as there's an understanding that it's a work in progress.
Yeah. So are we able to put a first reading forward? Would you like to
I'll
do that, Councillor?
Sure.
Go ahead.
So I'll move first reading of Land Use Bylaw Amendment Bylaw 1647S.
Okay. All in favor? Thank you. All right, this will move forward with further detail.
We need to do the other one too, right?
Yes, that's right now, Counselor, for sure.
Should I move that, Mayor?
Go ahead.
I also move
1723? That's the
No,
one?
1573B.
The, oh, okay, the East Structure Plan.
So, did we adopt this as a bylaw?
Yes,
Okay,
correct.
so then it's an actual reading then.
Yeah, and if I might, Counselor Burton, this is not something we're gonna do first reading now and second, third reading next meeting. The consultation process, the public input process, all that, this is 8 months.
At least.
You know, it's something like that. So this is really just getting the ball rolling. And again, if you look at the maps, and I know it's a bit unconventional, I'll admit it right now, but what we did is essentially say we're gonna lift all the lines off and say, we're gonna start with a clean slate with the consultation and the community on that. So that's what this amendment, but it is also showing what we're proposing for the Francophone School and the subsequent serviced industrial lots that could be next to it. So it is showing those in detail.
Yes.
But they would be subject to changes in second or third reading of both the one you just passed and the one that you're considering right now.
Possibly some other stuff.
Yes, and possibly other things, correct.
Okay. So I'll move first reading of bylaw 1573B, East Cardston Area Development Plan.
Just East area, it's not the Hooterite Colony, Counselor.
What did I say?
East Cardston, which is still accurate.
It says East
Oh,
Cardston
does it?
here.
Oh, man, okay, it doesn't on the agenda.
I mean, either way, whatever.
No, you're right, it does,
East Cardston,
sorry.
yep.
Sorry, it
But
sounded
is
funny.
that a
No.
redevelopment plan or was it an area structure plan?
It's an area structure plan amendment.
Yeah,
So
I guess
which
we're
way do
calling
we
it.
look at?
Sorry, we called it. This is our mistake administratively. We called it a structure plan on the agenda, but in the bylaw, it's a redevelopment plan. Yeah, that's more
So-
correct.
So of the area redevelopment plan amendment.
Yeah, that's more
Okay.
correct.
All right, councillors, all in favor? Thank you. Okay, so the next one, Jeff, do you want to present that one?
Josh was going to speak to the next two, Mayor.
Thank you.
Hey, thank you, Mayor. So this one you've had a look at a few times. The bylaw before you, the only change since your last look at it is an enforcement provision, so section 10. Just authorizing the chief administrative officer or their designate to remove any non-compliant items from public property. Other than that, that's about the same.
Okay, so it's split in two separate bylaws, actually. Policies,
We
what
were
are they?
going to look at parades and public events in a separate bylaw. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, go ahead, Councillor.
So I'll move first reading of bylaw 1723, which is the civic neutrality bylaw.
Thank you. All in favor? Thank you very much. Thank you for your work on this one.
I'll move on second read
Okay,
on bylaw 1723, civic neutrality bylaw.
all in favor? Thank you. Is there appetite to move
I can do third.
third?
I would like to receive third and final.
Sorry, Councilor, would be to allow for third, which must
Yes,
be
that's-
unanimous.
Okay.
This is what I was gonna say.
I've been doing those. So I
Can I-
move that we allow
I
for.
can't do it.
No,
No,
you
do
can,
the actual.
you can just
motion.
give, we need a
Because I was
motion.
like, wait, what?
No, we
I
just need a
understand.
motion in
Yeah.
between to allow
I will make that motion that we allow
third reading.
third reading of bylaw 1723.
Okay, perfect. All in favor?
Let me
Thank
make
you.
One comment just before.
Yeah,
Um,
No, no,
Joshua, if you look at under definitions of 3A and 3H, I don't believe either of those terms are used in
in the document.
this form of the bylaw. So they don't hurt anything being in there, but I think when
They're
we change
redundant.
stuff around, so just leave it.
Is 3A the MGA, Council?
Don't, just the definition of act. So we refer to it above, but we cite the whole thing. We don't use the short form. Right, but we don't use the short form in the preamble. And then I believe we don't use the definition of municipal land anywhere. So it doesn't hurt that they're in there, but just, if we want to make a motion to just edit those two if necessary.
Go ahead.
So the only place municipal land shows up is in the definition of municipal facilities. It's a little bit of a,
Oh,
but.
okay, well,
it
if
is
it's in there,
useful.
let's leave it, let's go.
Okay, all right.
Go ahead.
So are we okay with skipping those inside there? Okay, then go ahead.
So, Mayor, if I may, I move third and final reading of bylaw 1723, civic neutrality bylaw.
Thank you. All in favor? Thank you very much.
Thank you,
All
everyone.
right, welcome. Let's see. Okay, under 5D, council remuneration, there was some question, can we do that as a council and not look like we are in contravention of something of the act? No, we're not. We are totally allowed by the act to discuss remuneration.
Would it be proper for the three that are running again to step out and be away from this remuneration?
No, because you're allowed by the MGA to do so, but it's your pleasure.
Okay.
I have a question. on
Go
this.
ahead.
Counselor, I agree with you. It's awkward for us that are running to be talking about this, but here we are, and we're supposed to be talking about it. So my question is, so it's my understanding that in the agreements we have for our employees with the town, the goal is that the median on the pay is roughly 50%. And so I'm looking at us and seeing where we're at. And rather than move council and mayor up dollar wise, I was thinking, what if, and I've looked at all the other municipalities that are listed here. I've talked to a couple of the mayors asking how they're doing it, what their thoughts are. And something that came forward to me was, what if rather than boosting us all financially dollar amount, what if we were given, and I don't know the word for it, but say we were given passes. You're given a family pass to the pool. You're given to the ice rink, to the whatever it is, that counselors are allotted that, rather than, because that's not going to cost our taxpayer more money. And so that's kind of how I'm looking at it, is if we boost ourselves by giving us, and I'm not saying we don't work hard enough, that we shouldn't be getting paid, because no one around this table should be doing this for free. But what if we looked at it in that way? What if we, and I talked to Jeff in regards to it, and he suggested, because I was just trying to think of ways of doing it. I said, you know, what if we could create a packet? And so say Councillor Granger, he's coming back. We know you're not, so I'm using you. But Councillor Granger then would get a family packet. And so he gets so many times to the golf course, so many times to the swimming pool, whatever that looks like. I just think that would be a way of compensating without putting more burden on the taxpayer. Thought.
Councillor Jensen, Councillor Colt.
I think that's, I like the idea, and I think we should do that anyway, you know, but for someone like me, I don't go to the pool. I don't go, you know, I'm not, you know,
do.
so a package like that to me would be nothing, you know, wide.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're
I don't know.
suggesting grandchildren, because I'm like her, I won't use any of that stuff.
And maybe that's what it includes. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
Councillor Court, you are given 5 passes. Who you give them to, that's on
Yeah,
you.
you could donate them if you want.
I'm just saying, that's on you, but at least you're giving them to. What about the pool, Councillor? You're giving them. Well, you're right. You might not, but I'm here to tell you, your grandkids
If
go to the pool.
if they were passes that I could give to other people, and if it was people that, I mean, like no one in my family's golfs,
Right,
you know, but I know people who do golf.
right.
You know,
I'm just
so if I
saying,
could give it
We
to
think
them,
outside
that
the
would be
box.
fine,
It's
but-
just a thought.
Because those are all good thoughts, Councillor Burton, and then I will
I have a
want to
comment,
talk
but
about
I
something.
don't want to change the topic. If anybody else wants to discuss that, do so before
Yeah.
my comment, 'cause mine's a little bit different.
So mine is a little bit different too. Mine has to do with being there and present at committee meetings and receiving proper recognition, monetary
That was going to
recognition
be
for
my
that.
point, because
Yeah.
I raised the issue, you know, when I drove to Lethbridge, I get paid the same whether I went or not.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And
And that was a
so-
bit odd.
I think that we need, all there is proof of your attendance and then a general amount as we getting quarterly makes sense. But without that check and balance, the only best way to do it is to be paid for when you go.
Yeah, I was just gonna bring that up. I believe other communities do that. They pay them for the
Yeah.
attendance too, and if they don't attend, they don't get paid.
Yeah, and to my point of view, that should be fair.
Me too.
And in addition to that, Mayor, if something comes up, I don't know, I know already in here it says if, like, that's based on 1 a month, and if you have more, you could get paid, but it seems a natural thing that, you know, if you go, you get paid, and if you choose not to go,
Nothing.
you don't. It seems like a reasonable way to do it. Now, I don't know how that would fit with, in total.
And
When I looked at it, to me, it looks like we're a little bit below where we should be.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'd be in favor of increasing it in some way,
yeah,
however we get there. And to me, that's a natural way. I appreciate your point, Councillor Brown, about, you know, not costing the taxpayers things. Again, I wouldn't tend to use too many of those, but there's some value if my grandkids could, or I could donate them to somebody who couldn't afford it or anything like
No.
that. There's still benefit there.
Just to add to the comment I made, there are some meetings that sometimes are done via Zoom. And for example, for me, many of the meetings of Mayor and Reeves were available on Zoom. It allowed me not to charge gas to the town. So I took advantage of that. So I was present, but it's in a different way. So that should be recognized if we change the wording.
Also, like Councilor Court mentioned last time, when you go to the Lethbridge Parade or Lethbridge meeting, like Orsk, the Sterling Parade, you know, you're at half a day. You know, my last meeting, it was 4 hours to the minute when I got home.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
Yeah.
more than, you know, if I go to a local meeting that's an hour and 20 minutes or an hour and a half or something.
Yeah, because right now it's based on 4 hours
Yeah.
and more than 4 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Joshua, go ahead, give us some ideas.
Sure, no,
And Councillor Granger would like to say two bets worth.
oh, then I'll
Could
wait.
we do that first?
Yep.
Thank you.
I have two comments. One, I agree with Councillor Burton that I think we're a little low. I'd like to see the numbers up around the average. I think that would be nominal increase, but it's an increase, and I think we're, and none of us are doing this for the money they pay us. That's not why we're here. But the other, so I throw that in with Councillor Burton's thought. The other thing, I just want to go back to the three members of our council that are running again, and either I've got it wrong or somebody correct me, but is there not a perceived conflict of interest because those three members that are going to be on the next, could potentially be on the next council, and we know that Councillor Brown will be. If they vote in favor of, like, to participate in this vote, they are going to gain financially, which is the definition of conflict of interest. So I'm not trying to rain
Agreeing
on
with you.
anybody's parade, but I'm concerned that people out there might think that. So,
I brought
Well-
that up, sorry, I brought that up right off the get-go. I'd be happy to walk out the door and not vote on this.
I just
As-
wonder, I'd like to hear from
Well, as I said earlier on exactly the same topic, Jeff sent us a very clear portion of the MGA that speaks to that precisely. You are not in conflict if you, as council, deal with the remuneration of the honoraria on councillor, and it does not specify if they are going to run in the next election or not.
okay, so the
There's no
MGA
specific-
specifically addresses this.
Well,
Totally,
even
it's
MLAs,
totally,
they all vote for their own pay increases.
it's
Big cities vote for
totally
their pay
neutral as it can be. It's an item that we have to deal with, an item on budget, and we deal with it as an item of budget.
Okay, no, I'm good.
Okay,
I
good.
just wanted to hear that.
I just want to say, I'm fine for them to all sit here as a counselor. I'm fine with it. As a future citizen, I'm fine for them to stay here.
And I'm fine for them to vote.
I'd feel better if I didn't,
It's,
so.
Yeah.
yeah,
So
we're having a little bit of.
it's ultimately
difficulties.
up to you as councillors.
It's what I said.
I just want to be clear, though, you have an obligation to vote on matters that you do not have a conflict of interest on. You are required to. It's actually one of the
Exactly.
ways you can be dismissed as a councillor. So you must vote on something that you don't have a pecuniary or conflict of interest. So, and the act explicitly says you do not have a conflict of interest with respect to any allowance, honorarium, remuneration, or benefit to which the councillor may be entitled by being a councillor. So I know, Councillor Court, get the optics of it 100%.
Yeah.
It's just,
Awkward.
that's the letter of it.
It's the letter of the law. That's the way it goes.
is.
So, Councillor
I
Kenley,
was just gonna say, I know we didn't wanna do this, but do you wanna wait for the next council to get in?
No.
so that it doesn't affect an election.
You know something? It would be more awkward for the new council to do that
I'm
than
just saying,
for us
that's all.
to do it, but up to you guys.
This is not gonna be enough to really push anybody over
No.
the top.
Yeah, no one's gonna
It's
drop
not much of
out.
an increase.
Okay,
I'm personally fine with doing this. Like, we're talking like probably $5,000-6,000 a year.
No.
For
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
everyone. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm like,
Yeah.
what?
No. I'm saying,
all
I
right,
vote.
guys. Excuse me, councillors, but we have, Joshua would like to address us.
Sure. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
So I appreciate all the feedback, and we'll definitely be taking those notes back to form a couple options for the draft that then you would look at soon. So what we wanted your feedback on tonight is really whether it's reasonable for the amount to go up or down. Because then from there, we can talk about how that might be delivered to you over time. I'd encourage you all to look at this for the community as a whole going forward. People have a lot of pressures on their time nowadays, and remuneration is fair. It's in the law. It's recognized that elected officials, their time is valuable and worth something. So it's our position that Cardston, in relation to its neighbors, is low and should be in the top 2 to 3 out of that sample size that you see there. Now, again, we will iron out some specific numbers for you, but based on our analysis, we looked at the revenues that this municipality brings in and where they come from. And Cardston is very unique, and certainly the electrical distribution system has everything to do with that. So Cardston being in second position out of all of those municipalities, as far as the amount of money that's brought in, that takes a lot of careful stewardship and responsibility that we believe should be reflected in remuneration. In addition, looking at tax as a percentage of revenue, out of all of those communities, Cardston is last. It takes revenue from everywhere else, more than anyone else. So that demonstrates Cardston is in position to increase. It wouldn't be a burden or an undue burden, and that it's warranted. So we would just like council's feedback on whether they agree with that, or everyone thinks, no, that shouldn't really be a consideration.
Thank you, Joshua, for that presentation.
And
It clarifies a few
I
things.
appreciate that analysis. I think what you've done here is very helpful. When I look at the numbers, if we were to increase both the mayor and councillor by about 15%,
Mhm.
I think that lands somewhere in lower than what you're talking about. But
Because that's 15% over 4 years, so that's about less than 4% a year.
no, that'd be per year.
well, for example, if
It's
I look at
15%.
if I look at the counselor, the average 13,591. That's the average of the 6 of us.
Yeah.
And if you increase it, or 15%
13.
is $2,038.
Yeah.
And then if you look where that would land us, we don't even reach the next one up the ladder, which is Fort McLeod. So I haven't even changed the order by going up 15%. If I do it with the mayor, I would put you about, yeah, you might move up one place, but you wouldn't even move up two. From what you're saying, that would probably fit within what you're talking about, would land us, you said the top 2 or 3, and we're still down around 4 or 5.
Okay.
On that
All right.
basis.
Councillor Burton, thank you for bringing that up. Would you want around this table, at least the 4 of us who are maybe not impacted by it, the rest will benefit from it, willing to have Joshua do a new table with the idea of 15% increase? Would you feel
I'm
comfortable?
okay with that because I think it should go
Would
up.
you feel comfortable? I feel comfortable. So go ahead, do that, and present it at council, and then we'll take care
And
of
if
this.
if I could add two things to that. One, that you would take into consideration what seems to be the thought that there should be a tie between, or a connection between attending a committee meeting and being
Yeah.
compensated.
That's very important.
And then also take into consideration Councillor Brown's idea of a non-direct financial bonus, if you will. Particularly that could be shared with our community if we chose to
Yeah.
do that.
Something you could pass along. Yes, Councillor Jensen.
Just a thought, I would be curious to know, how we sit as far as per diems are concerned with the other communities as well. Are we on par with them, or?
You know, the per diem is a difficult kind of measurement because altogether, all the councillors, for example, if you look at the county, they're paid per diem, but quite differently than what we are.
What about the other communities like McGrath, Raymond, like, I don't really care. I'm just, if we're looking at everything,
Yeah.
is that something we want to look at too, or not?
I think that's reflected in the total
Yeah,
amounts
if
that
I
are
could
presented.
clarify, my thoughts were that that would all be in the same pot of stew, right?
Yeah,
When it comes out
it's-
at the end of it, you'd be ahead 15%.
Yeah,
And the detail doesn't matter as much, other than the two details I mentioned. There should be some connection to attendance and the non-dollar
yeah.
amount that Councillor Brown.
Okay, so that's the direction we gave you. Joshua, do you want to do it formal direction? Do you?
that's fine.
No, you're good? All right.
Okay,
Thank you very
Mr.
much. All right, we have a little bit of time, councillors, to carry on the 6 other business. The ADCO franchise fee, we had changed it, and really, I do not believe that we should change it anymore at this point. Go ahead,
But
Council.
that's ultimately a
Yes,
decision of the table,
But
but
that's just my,
so every year you have a
take on
chance
it.
to review that fee. You in your term moved it in your first year. From, I think we're at 15 up to 20. I think you find yourself in the higher percentile, or, up in the top end of that. Administration isn't seeing a need or recommending an increase, but welcoming feedback from council.
so the whole idea, if you don't mind, Councillor Granger, the whole idea was that there are many institutional organizations in our town that really do not participate in a taxes revenue the same as we do. And that was a way for us to kind of equalize that idea. And Councillor Burton was very much on that bandwagon at that time, and we
If it was a
appreciate his,
bandwagon.
we appreciate his insight. There was wisdom in it. So, Councillor Granger,
Thank you, Mayor. My recollection from a year ago's discussion was that we were playing a little bit of catch-up, but we were also balancing. We didn't want to hit our taxpayers
Yeah.
too hard, and so we upped it an appropriate amount. I think we've caught up. I don't know that it's that much different now, so I would agree with what you said and what Jeff said in the package, that I would not recommend changing the rate. We could just keep it the same and let the next
you.
council decide a year from now what to do.
good. Councillor Kenley, go ahead.
I just wanted to make sure, like, this is, so we're just passing it on to the
Correct.
to the ratepayer.
It's a flow through.
And then, does that just become a revenue for the town?
Correct.
Yeah, it's what you call a
So
flow
like,
through.
ATCO's not gaining anything from it.
No, in fact, if you look at whoever your retailer is, it doesn't matter. You will see a line specifically for franchise fee.
Yes,
And that flows through back to us as it's a payment for having monopoly in the municipality, frankly.
So it's just a revenue stream.
okay. So I need a motion to
We,
approve.
we don't if there's nothing.
Oh, there's
we've
no
done.
changes, so
No.
you're good.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. So can you speak to the next thing? You
Yeah.
have a letter that,
Yeah, Mr. Ranger came and presented to council, I believe CCW of August. No, we didn't have a CCW in August, maybe September. Time has flown. His request at the time was simply, he was seeking maybe some confirmations of financial, but I don't know that we're ready to do that. We don't really understand the financial scale of the project. We was also seeking a letter so that they could be shopping grants and showing the other levels of government their support. So we do have a drafted letter here if you feel it contains what you would want to send on.
Are you okay, Councillor?
The county's currently putting in a shooting range down by Spring Cooley.
Yes, that's the one.
Is that just
Same.
too far? Is that the?
That's the one.
That's the one, okay, all right.
Yeah, they're not competing. They've,
He's on the recreation committee, I think,
yeah.
if I remember correctly,
Okay.
but for that.
Okay, all right, that makes more
So-
sense to me then.
If I can add though, when I did reach out to the county in regards to this, into the pitch that was given to us, the two counselors I were talking to did not say that they supported it for sure, but they, like us, are not budgeting anything to go towards it yet. They're not there in their support of it either. So just to be clear,
Yeah,
the
and
county is in support of it like we are in theory, but we need more information, right? We need dollars.
I think that, I've talked to some too, and I think that's an accurate assessment.
Quick question, so the county is not building this then?
No.
They got approval from Bud Tribe?
The county is building and the berm walls and
Okay.
updating and those things, but
All
this group is wanting,
This is Fish and Wildlife type guys.
they're wanting more. Like
Indoor.
like
Okay,
you heard,
okay,
they
yeah.
want so much more. They want a facility, I would call
Gotcha.
it more so.
Yeah, so,
They want an indoor
Clubhouse, yeah,
facility.
great.
and I think all of the communities around here should take a really good look at financially supporting it when the time comes, right? When they have something concrete and because it really does, it's a hole that's not being filled here. And the other thing I think is, it somehow I missed the letter when I first looked through it, but you know, help with grants, grant applications, that kind of thing. I'm sure the county has somebody that does that, but you know, in the event that we were asked to help, I think that'd be a good thing to help with.
They were saying that they would use all the help they can get financially. That's what I remember them saying.
I was just gonna make a motion if everyone's okay.
Go ahead.
Just a motion to send the letter of support to the Cardston County Shooting Association for the
Okay.
council.
All in favor? Thank you. All right, the entrance sign, who wants to speak to that one?
Let's swap Joshua again, Mayor.
Okay, so this has to do with a capital project that the town is preparing for next year. We need to replace the entrance signs to the community, and that is, you know, a big branding initiative. So we would like the opinion of the elected officials as to just an image to start with that can guide the design of the sign and the materials and the construction. So feedback, particularly from a seasoned group, would be much appreciated.
Councillor Kenny.
So I'm just gonna throw this out there. I don't know if we ever discussed it, but is there any opposition to kind of doing what like Clarisome has done with like the electronic board outside their town? Coming in that they can post information. Like, you know what I'm talking about when you drive through there, I don't know if we ever discussed that, but I always thought that might be nice to have there and on the other side of town potentially. I know it probably costs money, like everything, but just an opinion.
I actually heard from a citizen that said exactly that. Didn't reference the community, but that our sign should, you know, be
Electronic.
aesthetically attractive. So the logo, whatever, you know, whatever design but that we add to it some information, like on an electronic thing that the town would have to change on a weekly basis as to what's coming up, you know, but have the ability to provide that information at both ends of the community.
It's interesting.
This-
Hill Spring has something
yeah.
like that.
And the other comment the person made, there's a bunch of signs, particularly the church signs at each end of the town, that are so far out of date, it's embarrassing.
Yeah, I
And
agree with you.
wanted me to mention that while we're thinking about signs,
Update.
take the non-applicable ones down or redo those church signs as well.
Agree.
I agree with the signs, that more people are gonna see it coming there, they're gonna see it sitting outside town.
Yeah.
Town's hall here. EP, that's all I'm gonna say. Does it need to be on there?
I'm wondering if this wouldn't be fantastic for the new council to run rather than this council
I
have
got
this
you.
say. I feel like this is something that the next council should have input in. I think this would be a great starter for them. I don't feel like this is something that we at
Okay.
this table should run with.
Maybe what we could do is at least have Joshua look at the cost of electronic
Great
signs
idea. Great idea.
without worrying about the logo and what will be on there.
I was just gonna say, if I could direct administration to look into costs, and then it can come to the next council.
Okay,
Love it.
all in favor?
Yep.
Well,
That was a motion, obviously.
Nailed it.
I was gonna be more specific.
Okay, thank you.
You said it.
All right.
Specific size.
You know, we're moving along pretty good. Let's go on to 7. A CEO report. I didn't see it. Okay, sounds like a good deal. You didn't have much to do those past weeks. We noticed.
So Mayor, you're on council committee reports, is that where we are?
Yes,
Did I make a comment on that?
please go ahead.
So I had raised last time the ORSC fees, and I don't know,
Yes.
Jeff, if that's something we should just look at later, or we should look at in a closed session.
Mayor, can I respond to that?
Please go ahead.
So I actually got an email today from ORSC with their projected,
Apology.
no, it was with their projected fees over across all 4 categories for the next year. And in that, they had said, given the changes and the impact of this, do we want to have someone come down and speak to council about it and talk about the rationale and do all that, which, by the way, I think is a good idea. But I think it might be I guess I would value your input on this. I was thinking it was a good exercise for the next council.
Agreed.
They're going to set that budget. You guys have all the context, by the way, but you may be really upset about it, but you don't get to look at the next budget. No offense. So I'm just curious.
Yeah,
your timing
the
thoughts
only
on that.
wrinkle is I get to look at their budget,
Yes,
right?
that's
So
right.
but I'm only one vote, and I don't,
Yeah,
I imagine it'll pass.
I,
So we're probably stuck with it. I mean, the county is the only ones that I've been talking to who are
okay.
shocked by it.
Can I,
so.
can I add a little bit of context to your comments? We brought that item to the for mayor conversation. And for them, the way they looked at it is that I still feel that I get enough value, even with the increase, than if they had to worry about doing it on their own and not being able to maybe match the quality nor the timing to be able to do the work that they
Does
require.
the county reeve go to that meeting?
Not the reef, but we had the mayor of Raymond, of Sterling, and of McGrath there, us ourselves. And Raymond was actually pushing back on the idea that we wanted to maybe look at a different model. They were not feeling confident that changing the model would help us. Jeff, did I reflect that properly? Thank you.
Well-
Okay, so Councillor Jensen.
Just on this, I just want a reminder that South Grow
When
is
is
having
it?
their meeting
Yes.
on Thursday at 6 in McGrath at the Senior Center. And our very own Jeff Shaw will be there to update them on the MABR
Yeah.
system that we have.
Yeah,
So it'll
thank
be
you.
very exciting. I mention it only because
Yeah,
um,
I'm glad you mentioning that. Just as a report, because I might not have a chance to do that again. I was at the library meeting yesterday and told them that we had a reply from a proposal regarding the studies that we wanted to do jointly regarding the library. And I gave it to Mary Lou. Mary Lou is going to study it and talk with Jeff. And if they feel, both of them, that it covers the deliverables that we asked for in our proposal, then Jeff will go and find a grant that will allow us to find the money. It was about 40, yeah, okay. I mean, it was in an amount that we could find a proper grant for that. Okay, yes.
Mayor, just back to my matter, would it be appropriate to, in your opinion, to let administration still talk to the county? About a
Regarding,
potential other model? And again, I think we get lots of value. I'm not in any way discounting what
Yeah.
we get from them. Our planner is great. It's all very good. Just, I think it'd be worth at least having that discussion wherever it
Yeah.
leads.
okay. Are you comfortable? Do you want a motion to that effect?
Yeah.
Okay, Councillor Burton. Councillor
Well, I
Burton?
think we already did that, though. And I just wanted to clarify that the mayor wasn't canceling that from the Reeves, the mayor's meeting. 'Cause hadn't we already talked about that or not? Okay, well, I can move. I'll make a motion.
Okay,
So I move that we direct administration to
engage.
yeah, engage the county in a discussion regarding services presently provided by ORSC.
Thank you. Any more questions? All in favor? Thank you. All right, let's move on. Anything else regarding those reports that you may want, Councillor Cole?
We report, but I think we should acknowledge McGrath's loss.
Oh, yes, it's a very good point. I talked to Jeff about that, thinking that collectively we may want to send
Yeah. Yeah, we're
our
planning on sending a
condolences.
card on behalf of mayor, council down
Yeah.
to their council.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's very tragic.
Yeah. It's hard to segue from that, but if I might, I just wanted to mention while we're in committee reports and other reports, on this Thursday, we partnered with West Wind School Division to be having a Truth and Reconciliation Day ceremony at the monument at 2:00. So because of, there's a stat on the Monday, so I know the actual day is next Tuesday, but the school's going to recognize that event on Thursday at 2:00 outside at the Monument Park downtown.
Okay.
So we're going to
They
put.
welcome us to
Yes,
be part
absolutely.
of
No,
that.
we're partnered with them on that, and we're going to invite the public tomorrow
Okay.
and to let them know that it's on. So
It's this Thursday.
Do they
yes,
need
correct.
anything official from us or not? Just be
no,
there.
they've got a program already sorted out. We are doing some financial participation and supporting some of the elders that will be there, and so that's the current plan.
Thank you.
Mayor, just on that same topic, I think in our budget, do we still have money for increasing or improving our trails? Is that part of our, or did we spend all of it?
I would need to look at that for
If,
sure.
if there
Counselor.
is, or if future council looks at that, this report by ORSC on trails is really good.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure in our budget, they at least talked about connecting the trail to the bridge over by.
Right.
Every year we have
I'll
tried to
confirm that.
do a little bit of
I
something.
know
on
there's
the
something in the
trails.
budget to keep.
Okay.
improving
Just
that.
notice that this is here
Okay,
and
will do.
helpful.
Thank you.
Okay. Jeff, I have on the 8th, I have a question from the library. They were wondering about possibility of doing snow
Yeah,
removal.
Mary Lou emailed me this morning on
Did
it.
she?
Yeah.
So you're looking into that? Perfect, thank you. All right, so let's go on the 9. We have an event, the Kenai Peacemaking Center grand opening is something that I think we should participate in. I was thinking Councillor Brown or Mayor-elect.
That's
Would
cute.
would you want to
Yes, please.
be part of that?
Yeah.
I don't remember when it is.
October 7th at 10
10
a.m.
a.m.
Yeah. So I had said I wouldn't mind.
What is
Going there.
what are they using that center for?
It's going to be another place where they're going to do a lot of things for their youth, for their seniors. Yeah. So that is a one that had many other activities in there, and I want to keep it for those activities. So under 9B, we have a response to our thank you letter. It's pretty good. Okay, so councillors, we will conclude this portion
Mayor,
of our, go ahead.
can I make a motion to break for 10 minutes?
Yeah, so that's what I was
Sorry, I
trying to
interrupted.
move forward. Okay, so put a motion, all in favor of a recess, 10 minutes.
Thank
In
you.
10 minutes, we have our public.
Motion to reconvene.
Thank you. All in favor? Councillor Court, thank you.
Doing council work here, sorry.
All right, we are going to start our land use bylaw public hearing, and we want to, we reconvened. Yes, and we need to have a motion to do that. Councillor Kelly, you're
Yep.
hidden by Councillor Granger's head. Okay, go ahead.
I will make a motion to commence the public hearing for. Do I need to say? Is this bylaw 1647R?
Yes,
Perfect.
thank you. All in favor? Thank you. Jeff, go ahead.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Thank you all for coming to the public hearing. So tonight we are talking about amendments to the land use bylaw. This is Amendment R. We're getting close to the end of the alphabet on this. We'll have to decide what to do. There's two main components of this amendment, unrelated. The first component is proposal to reduce setback requirements in the Creek Works subdivision in R3. We've talked about this previously. I won't go on at length about this. There may be delegations that wish to speak a little more at length, but again, because of the unusual size and the unusual layout of those lots, the conventional setback requirements, the argument would be is they don't fit well in this subdivision. And so that has been reduced. And the second thing that is being proposed to change is to allow detached secondary suites in the appropriate zoning. So I thought that Ryan from Old Man River used a great term where he said it provides an opportunity for intensification of existing residential lots and allowing for gentle densification of existing neighborhoods. And so I think that's a good way to put it. I should mention, sorry, for you counselors under 5A1, there's a second document if you have it electronically, which is a memo from our planner that you can look at. It's also in print version. There's a few on your table if you need those as well, and I'll let Ryan speak to those when it's his time. So I just also want to mention, Mayor, before you turn it over to anyone that wishes to speak, we didn't have anyone that formally asked to speak, but we have invited Ryan Dick to speak to some of the matters from Old Man River. Shem, do we have anyone attending electronically? So there's no one attending virtually who's wanting to speak either. Council had put forward a number of questions after first reading regarding things like costs, responsibility for standards for utility connections, things like this. In your background or just after the RFP was Ryan's answers to some of those. Now, you'll see that the answers are suggesting there wasn't a need to amend the bylaws. Some of the things were part of the due process. But if council feels like we need to add, that's perfectly fine. We are not in a panic here, except maybe the Heitzman's wishing to proceed on their project. But otherwise, we have time to work this through and we can make amendments as needed.
Councillor Burton, go ahead.
Thank you. Jeff, I really appreciated the responses from Mr. Card and Mr. Dick from Orsk. I thought they answered all of the questions adequately, so I don't see any, from what I've read, any reason to make amendments to it. But I would suggest that all of the questions and answers in this memo be given formally to the MPC, because I think it's all really helpful information, because this is new to us. Now I'm changing hats here, but when I say us, but I guess I won't be on it, will I? So the other guys that are on MPC, I can assure you will appreciate having this extra information, just till they kind of get a couple under their belt. I think that'd be helpful.
And Mayor, it's important that I mention, just so everyone is clear, the allowance for detached secondary suites is discretionary in the respective zonings, and so comments like Councilor Burton's, where this is additional context for the MPC as they go through the battery of questions, is important. So it is not clearly objective, and there's a great amount of discretion exercised by the Planning Commission, so we'll make sure that that happens, Councilor. Thank you.
Yeah, and just in general, any time that we pass something discretionary, it's always helpful to the MPC to have a little bit of guidance from council, because it's council's bylaw, but it has to be enforced by the MPC. So any guidance is always appreciated, even though it's ultimately their decision. Guidance is helpful.
So I think, Mayor, that's all I need to say to introduce the topic, and I will let you decide which delegations may want to come speak to it. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, the lectern is absolutely blocking my view, so I'm just going to ask, is there anybody in the audience that is willing?
Mr. Dick should go first, though, Mayor.
Oh, yes. Okay, go ahead. I absolutely cannot see you. You're all hidden from my view. Sorry.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of council, and had a chance to quickly say hello to a few of you I know that aren't returning here. Wish you the best, and I know some of you are seeking nomination and election, and wish you luck as well. Jeff kind of covered the main highlights there. I guess I'll work down my memo very quickly and answer any questions if you have some respecting these two matters. The first being the Creekworks subdivision. And as Jeff mentioned, those lots, 31 of them exactly, are zoned R3, but within the R3 district, we have special provisions that apply specifically to that subdivision plan, which was registered in 2016. You'll recall we dealt with some of the flood stuff when we brought into effect the new flood mapping a few months ago, which had some specific requirements respecting this same subdivision. So some highlights there in the little background portion of the memo. There are a few relevant instruments on title that are, I think, important to note because we have a narrow roadway facility that's actually a titled lot, and that's not typical, right? Usually the roadway is in the name of the town. So this is the case here, and then we have a conventional utility right-of-way on either side of that. Now, in discussing this matter with the town and with the developer, and this really came about because we've had a few applications at MPC where it's been challenging for the applicant to be able to successfully navigate the small building pocket that they have with the 30-foot front yard setback. And that's really specifically for a few lots in this subdivision, because some of them, a lot of them can easily provide that 30-foot front yard setback, but there's a few, given the orientation and the effect of the flood hazard area, that limits the extent of the building pocket. So after meeting with the town, the developer, we talked about the applicant's design setbacks. So originally, this subdivision back in 2016, the developer provided these lot grade slips. So each lot, and this is typical of the urban subdivision, it illustrates the building pocket with the design setbacks that they put forward at the time, and then some more engineering and design related things, the invert elevations and stuff like that. So this was submitted in support of the subdivision, to establish suitability for the subdivision, but there was never a corresponding land use bylaw amendment to affect these proposed design setbacks. So that's what we're considering today, is a response and to bring these into place in the R3 setback. And like I said, the most notable one is reducing that front yard setback from 30 to 20 feet.
Can I just ask you then, maybe that's for Councillor Burton then, how many lots then of people who came to MPC with that issue would be successful at having their application accepted?
Well, at MPC, it's only been the proponent of the developer who's
I
been there.
see.
So,
I get you.
so my understanding is maybe one lot has been sold. I don't know, but I think this is just generally looking forward.
How to do
Maybe
it.
four
Okay.
or five that are too congested to have a 30
right.
foot. And there is, what Ryan's saying is definitely right, that, I mean, it's a dead end. It's not,
Mm-hmm.
there's no, block sight line. They say, oh, that would look funny. It won't look funny. It's only an elbow room issue, and I think
Right.
they've addressed that, they're still going to be back far enough that our equipment wouldn't hit the roofs
Okay.
or those kinds of
All
things,
right.
so.
Good. Thank you.
Yeah, I think that helps provide some context. We've had one at MPC specifically that was refused, and that's what
Okay.
triggered this discussion.
Okay, thank you.
And I think that was the narrowest of them all, wasn't it?
Yeah, there's a few that are oriented sort of parallel to the roadway as opposed to perpendicular, right? And those are the ones that have challenged meeting that 30-foot setback.
Yeah, can see that.
Yeah, and of course you can't go further back because with the flood hazard area. So those are the limiting factors here. That really, I think, covers it. What we've also said in the proposed language is that there's no permitted projections into the front yard setback, because anywhere else in town in a residential context, we have certain allowances for things like wheelchair ramps or
Right.
front patios and stuff like that we allow. But in this case, we don't want to allow that because of the potential that roadway facility maybe has to get widened or some sort of change down the road. I would jump down to the second matter, which is the detached suites in the R1 district. So to back up a bit, we already provide for and define a garage suite, which is where a dwelling unit is attached to or above a garage, and a garden suite, which is a standalone dwelling unit in the land use bylaw, and we provide for those uses in the R3 and the R5 districts. We did that a number of years ago, and we haven't had any applications as far as I'm aware. So this, of course, is just with respect to the R1 district, but there are some proposed changes that affect the design requirements across all three districts. Backing up in terms of how this sort of fits into the town's long-term planning, the province's vision for the region. It's important to note the SSRP calls for things like a better variety of choice in residential housing types, right? Mm-hmm. Our municipal development plan echoes that, calls for a variety of housing types that cater to all needs, income levels, what have you, right? All that sort of good motherhood and apple pie statements that we often disregard, but in this case, it's relevant, right? We'll often see these in an infill context, right? For existing mature neighborhoods. And infill development is usually a good thing as long as it's well done. And that's why it's important that we have design standards, design guidance in terms of integrating these things into the neighborhood, making sure they're compatible. talking about numbers here, which is important. In the R1 district, we currently allow for up to 12% accessory building coverage or 900 square feet. What we're proposing is that in the context where a detached suite is proposed, we would allow up to 13% coverage of the lot or 1,000 square feet. So that's 1,000 square feet of coverage. So that means if it's a 2-story facility with the garage below, it could be more gross floor area. And with that, I suggest that maybe we need to clarify, and if I could have you look at section 6 there, section 6 sub 2 is where we talk about 13%, and we say not, or can occupy up to 13% or 1,000 square feet. Perhaps we need to clarify and say coverage, because if you're reading that quickly, you might assume that that's the maximum gross floor area of a building. So I would propose to add the words of site coverage after 1,000 square feet, and to do that in all 3 districts.
And site coverage is what we usually call footprint, right? That's the same concept.
Exactly. It doesn't account for multiple story buildings, it's just the footprint. That's right, yeah. So essentially on a 6,000 square foot lot, which is the minimum R1 size, you could have up to 780 square feet. And when you are a lot that hits about 7,700 square feet, that's where you max out of coverage and you default to the 1,000 square foot maximum. So this is so we don't get accessory suites that are disproportionately large and feel like big dwellings, essentially second dwellings in the back of properties.
Councillor Burton.
Ryan, have we provided any kind of a height restriction? I know at MPC we've hit ones that are, you know, where they want to build a garage or a shop or what have you.
Yeah.
And it's always, they're always coming in asking for a height increase. And the issue is, does your neighbor want to look at the height increase? You know, are you now putting him in the shadows, that kind of thing? Have we dealt with that at all here, or how's it? I know that you said it has to be in proportion to the existing building and things, but I was wondering if we specifically dealt with height at all.
Yeah, so for a garage suite, we say a maximum of 25 feet, and a garden suite at 17, and then we also say in no case is the suite to exceed the height of the principal dwelling.
Yeah, I remember that. Okay, I think that's adequate then.
I think that sort of provides an overview of these things. A lot of your questions were about servicing, and that's often what comes up. How do we service these things? And of course, it's easy, say in a pre-planned context, that we've got a subdivision in the Crozes Pass, for example, where okay, people know they're planning for a detached suite at the time they're building the principal dwelling. It's easy, you plan for it, maybe even rough it in, and the servicing, the connections are still through the principal servicing connection, but there's less headache and less cost with having to excavate and backfill and tie in. But I'm kind of drawing on my experience from the Crow's Nest Pass, and I gave you an example in the memo there of a few, and they've had about 15 or so in the past since they opened it up about 5 years ago. I provided a few of the assessment reports, so you kind of get an example of what these things are bringing in terms of assessment generation and the square footages. And you get maybe just a tiny bit of visual because there are some small pictures there. But it's been working well in the Crow's Nest Pass, and most of their lots on average, certainly they're a lot smaller than in the town of Cardston. So a little bit of overview in the memo, some additional stuff. I just say on a final note, we also have brought this in the town of McGrath, and we're starting to see it in the whole region. It's becoming commonplace. I think it will be commonplace that in most municipalities, conventional R1 district or whatever they call it, you're seeing allowances for 2 units, whether that's a basement suite, a duplex, or a detached suite. It's becoming commonplace that two units are allowed.
Good.
That's what I'll leave you with. Thank you.
Ryan, thank you very much, and I really think it's going to help, and that Nolan, you okay? Go ahead.
Yep. Yeah, I did actually notice that when I was quickly looking. It could make sense. So what Nolan's saying is we currently allow for an 18-foot height for a garage on its own.
I want 24 or 26.
But what's proposed in the text of the bylaw is a garden suite, so the one without a garage, at 17 feet. So it could be simpler to just align those both
I
at
think
18.
so.
Yeah.
I think it
Sure.
was.
Okay, so that's something you can work on as a revision.
Maybe if I could make one comment just while you're there, and you tell me if I'm right. When we look at our various area structure plans in Cardston, the theme of it is single home, medium to larger lots. And if you do the bell curve, what we're missing on the two ends
Yeah.
are our more
Are the
dense,
density.
the
Small
more
house
dense
density.
development.
Yeah.
That seems like we have a demand that maybe we're not adequately
Yeah.
meeting.
I
On
agree.
the other end, what I'll call an estate lot, we're not meeting that either, right?
Yeah, right.
We're drawing thick lines over penciled lines that would include 4, 5, or 6 smaller lots. So those are some of the reasons I think it's time to look at our area structure plans
To review them.
and make sure that our bell curve is capturing the two ends, one of which I think this helps satisfy. So I'm in favor of it for that reason. And the other, the state lots. And both of those are, if I say there's a trend, those are our trends. Would you agree with that, Ryan?
Yep.
Okay.
So
Thank you, Brian. So I will look at the gallery, and if somebody in the gallery want to speak, first of all, maybe Gordon, would you want? You didn't want, so you're satisfied that this revision is adequate? Do you have any question of Gordon? No? Thank you very much. So regarding the detached suite, is there anybody who want to speak for or against? No? We good. We done our homework. Thank you so much. Well, I guess we can adjourn this public hearing.
Yeah, I'll make an motion to adjourn the public hearing.
Thank you very much. All in favor? And councillors, then we're going to go back to our regular bylaw and policy.
I make a motion to reconvene our regular meeting of council.
All in favor? Thank you very much. And Jeff, do you want to guide us now?
So Mayor, if we go back to 5A1, which is
Yes.
what we just talked about, what I have notes on is there are 2 minor changes proposed, just to clarify a couple of things in the text. Again, you still have another full council meeting with which to pass this. If you're comfortable, you can leave that with us and we can bring those amendments back to you at your next full council. And then I think, I don't see any opposition to continue passing the final readings.
I think that would be very good.
Okay, and then we will do that.
Thank you. All right. Well, that will then,
2 weeks, 3, 4.
so the rezoning 1647 as, do you want to address that now?
Which one?
Let's go.
We leave that,
Yeah.
we leave it alone? Okay, all right. Councillor Kenley?
I think I'll make a motion to go into closed session.
Yeah, all in favor? Thank you. We just are concluding our